Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. So today's video I'm going to be showing you all the books out on my April TBR. Now there are quite a lot, so if it feels like I'm kind of rushing, that is why. I'm also filming a different spot. Books are falling because I've got 3 huge piles. Now these aren't all the books that are on my TBR, because I do want to read some books for videos, but obviously I don't want to ruin those kind of books, so I just thought I would leave them out. There aren't many, but you'll hopefully see them throughout the month. So let's just get into it because it's quite long. Okay, first off I want to read Fix It Up by Tessa Bailey. This I recently bought and I've been meaning to read for a while. I just haven't got round to it. I did have it on my Kindle, so there is no excuse. But I have heard some good things about it, so I do want to get to this. And then following up with that, I'd like to read Love Her or Lose Her, and also Torso of Engagement. I'd like to read the whole series because they seem like they're quite fast paced, easy to read, and when I read some of Tessa Bailey's books before, they were easy to read, quick and all that, and that's something that I kind of need right now because I don't really have time or, you know, the motivation to read at the moment, so I'm hoping that these will help me. I think I'm kind of going into a reading slump, which is quite sad. Okay, and then following up with that, I'd like to read Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. Also with this is her most recent release. I haven't heard great things about it, but I'd like to form my own opinions on it, so I thought that I would try and give it a go. I'm not quite sure what it's about, but we'll just, you know, read it and find out. Okay, next is, I think, February, I read Throttled by Lauren Asher, and I rated it 3 stars, but I've heard that people say that you should continue with the series. Like, the first book isn't everyone's favourite, and I get that, so I'm hoping to read Collided in April. And yeah, I'm excited to get to the 4th book of this because I've heard that people say that's their favourite, but I have heard the further you get into the series the better, so I'm hoping that is the case for me. Okay, next, following up with that, I want to start Terms and Conditions and Final Offer by Lauren Asher as well. I want to finish off the series. I have heard the fine print I actually really enjoyed. It took me a while to like get into it, but once I did, it was great. Terms and Conditions I've heard good things about. Final Offer I've heard people say it's a favourite, but then I also heard some people say that it was kind of a disappointment, like they thought it'd be a lot better than what it was. So we'll see, but I am very excited to give these a go. Okay, next up, I just realised you can see one of the books. Moving on. I did say in one of my videos, I think it was the book haul, that I was going to wait for the 3rd book to come for me to read the series, but I kind of just want to see what happens. I also said that I would try and do a video on it. Let me know in the comments if you'd like that still. But that is the Ravenhood series, so we've got Flock, we've got Exodus, is that how you say it? And then we've also got the 3rd one, which I think is called The Finish Line. So yeah, I really want to see what these are about because I've heard people say that they really enjoyed it. I've heard some people say that they didn't like it. Okay, so I just realised I started filming without my ring light on, so I'm so sorry, but we're going to continue. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I have heard some people say that they enjoyed this. I've heard some people say that it's not their favourite. I heard some people say that they're confused and they don't understand what's going on. So I've heard mixed opinions, but I'm excited to see. Now, I did just buy the 1st book, so I could just buy the 1st book, but then I saw that, and then I just bought the 2nd. But anyway, moving on. Okay, next I want to start another series. I believe this is fantasy. I have really got into my fantasy in March. Like, I'm kind of in my fantasy era. I'm loving fantasy at the moment, which is kind of crazy to me. But I want to start City of Bones. Now, I am hoping, I probably should have shown you this last, but I'll explain it in a minute. But I'm kind of hoping to start this after I finish some other series, which I'll get to. But I have heard some good things about this. Am I like 15 years late? Yes, I believe so. I think that is when this came out, but I am excited to give it a go because, like I said, I've heard great things about it. I mean, look at that, stunning. So yeah, very excited. Okay, following up with finishing series, I started the Avatar series, and so I want to get to the 2nd book because I really enjoyed the 1st one, and so I thought, moving on. Now, what put me off is I heard that there's a love triangle in this, but I don't think it's that kind of love triangle that I hate, so, you know, I'm hoping that I can just move on. But also I've heard that this is people's favourite book, so I am very excited. Also, the size kind of intimidates me, but I got through the 1st one quite quickly. Like, once I started getting into it, like, it took me quite a while to get into it. Like, I think it took me like a month to actually start reading it properly. I was like reading a few pages every now and then, but that's because I was trying to ease myself into the fantasy. And then once like the story started, I was like binging it, you know, reading it in one sitting kind of thing. So that is the other book I want to try and get to. Another series I would like to finish is the Cruel Prince series. So I read the Cruel Prince, loved it, obviously. So I want to get to The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. Very excited to start these. But yeah, I've heard that people say this one's the better one, so I'm excited to see what happens, because the ending of The Cruel Prince was quite interesting. Then I want to start the Shadow and Bone series. I was supposed to do it in March, supposed to do it in February, supposed to do it many months ago. Never got around to it. Now, I haven't put the whole series on my TBR because I feel like, kind of like with Throttled and stuff, I kept putting the whole series on my TBR and that was just overwhelming. So I thought that I would just put the first book on and see if that works for me. But yeah, I've heard some good things about it. And considering I'm in my fantasy era, I need to get to it before I'm out of it. Okay, next I want to start Things We Hide from the Light. I'm pretty sure this was in my last one's TBR, or was it? I'm not sure, but I need to get to this. I want to say I enjoyed Things We Never Got Over. The first half I was almost about to DNF it, and then the second half I really enjoyed. And so I don't know what I'm going to think about this, but I have heard people say that it is better. Yeah, I have heard people say that this is their favourite out of the two and that this one was a lot better. So we'll see what I think of it. Okay, and the next book is Magnolia Parks. I've heard so many good things about this. I've also heard some bad things about it. I'm quite scared though, because I know it's very toxic. Like, very toxic. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel within the month, but right now I'm interested and I want to read it. Will I get to it? I don't know, because it can be quite overwhelming, but we'll see. I do want to start it. Okay, and then next is Set on You and X's and O's. I have heard great things about this. So I did buy this one, and then I realised that it's kind of a series, but you can read them as standalones. But I prefer to, like, if there's more than one book that's like connected to each other, I prefer to read it in the order. So I then brought this one. This one, if I remember correctly, is kind of, I think it's about a gym influencer. Sorry, a curvy fitness influencer and a firefighter. So sounds very good. I'm excited. And then X's and O's is about a bookstore grandma and I believe another firefighter. So yeah, excited to start this one as well. I've heard more things about this one than the first one, but I'm still excited for them. Okay, next I want to finish the selection series. So in one of my videos, I read the selection and I rated it, was it 3 or 4 stars? I think it was 4 stars. It was quite high because I did enjoy it. Didn't think it would be my thing because there is a love triangle in this series, but the first one was quite enjoyable, and consider it's YA as well, and YA isn't normally my thing, so I do want to just finish the series because they're very short, quick paced, easy to read, you know. So I want to get to the Elite, the One, the Heir, and then the Crown. Okay, next I want to get to Mr. Wrong Number. I was supposed to start this in May of last year, never got around to it because it wasn't my TBR then, but unfortunately I never got around to it, and I did end up buying it not that long ago, and so I think it's about time. I need to get to it. And if I remember correctly, this is basically about two people, male being the female's brother's best friend. This is from what I'm remembering from my brain. Anyway, they start talking online not knowing that it's each other, so it seems fun. Next, I want to read Misfit by Elle Kennedy. So this is Elle Kennedy's newest release. Don't know what it's about, have no idea, but I did enjoy the Off-Campus series and the Briar U, well, the 2 books from the Briar U series. Although the second book I wasn't a big fan of. Anyway, off topic. So yeah, I do want to read this. It's 50-50 chance with me with Elle Kennedy because Good Girls Complex, it was okay. I gave it 3 stars. Briar U, the first book was 5 stars. The second book was, I believe, 2 or 3 stars. And then the whole Off-Campus series I enjoyed. So this is 50-50 chance. But we'll see. Next, I want to read Things I Wanted to Say But Never Did. So, A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime have been on my TBR for quite a while. I still haven't got to it. So that is probably another one that might be on my TBR. But I do want to get to this one. It's quite thick. It's a lot thicker than A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, I believe. Yeah, it's like 600 pages. Oh my god. It's almost 700 pages. I'm kind of second guessing myself. But yeah, I have heard some great things about it, and I just want to get to it. I mean, I love the cover. Okay, next I want to read Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. So if I remember correctly, what this is about is about two people. They both have jobs, obviously, and their bosses are fighting, like, because they're in a relationship, their exes, so they argue, split up, and so these two people who have the job are trying to get their bosses back together to, like, for some reason, like, for peace, basically. And then they end up falling in love. I think, if I remember correctly, that's what it's about. And so I'm very, very excited to get to it. It just seemed really fun, quick pace, short, so I'm very excited. And then the last book that I want to show you is The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. So I don't know what this is about. I know that they have some, well, guests, and they have some kind of like podcast, and I don't know, but it seems fun and I'm excited to read it. So those are all the books on my April TBR. I really hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave a book emoji if you have watched till the end. I hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.